Anyway, I won a silly cup. Oh, God. I won a silly cup and a bouncy ball.
Neat.
Thanks, CC's.
Those sound like legit prizes. Like
The cup was 300 tickets.
Damn.
I did see a giant Hello Kitty plushie for like 5,000 tickets, so I was like, well, guess I'm never
Sweet.
going to get that.
Oh, I mean, I think the correct response is that you're gonna be in there and spend $700 on skee-ball.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, for my $20 that I spent, I got like 400. So that math does not look good in my favor. Although, to be fair, I don't think the guy actually took my tickets off my card, so I guess I could just go back and get more toys. So that's nice.
I like the idea of you running this toy scam at the arcade of you
It
found
sounds
a
like
way. You found a way to make it to add tickets onto your card or to keep it from
It's
going
perpetual,
off.
yeah.
You just clean out all the Hello Kitty plushes.
They're really big and really cute. It's the little Hawaiian island Hello Kitty, so she's like tan and she has a little play and
So
stuff.
she's problematic.
Yeah, kind of, but also
Problematic
It's really
Hello Kitty
cute.
comes with an iPod loaded with Chapo Trap House episodes.
no. Hello Kitty, no.
And a Cum Town brand T-shirt.
I don't even know what that is.
Cum Town is like the dumber version of Chapo Trap House.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is very much a thing. It is. It's impossible to even explain what it is. It's just three. It's two complete morons and one. They're like half moron leader. just making the most offensive jokes possible. And they're all friends with the Chapo people, and they, make $80,000 a year from Patreon. Poison.
I unironically dig that title.
It is like a brainworm. Once you hear the phrase "Cum Town," you're just like, wow, that's a great title.
It's the podcast essentially, at least in my mind, culturally, is just it's the punchline. Like whenever Vice President Mike Pence says something like totally gross, you say, "Oh, he's gonna be a guest on Cum Town."
Yeah,
and everybody laughs.
We take Stav to a pumpkin patch and let him pick out a squash.
There's 50,000 a month goal.
Let's.
That's such a perfect response. That's such a perfect response. It's just like, ugh.
I think that's the collective response of most of the world, except for their fans who scream about how wonderful it is for some reason.
I feel like Cum Town is just such a chaotic mess that listening to it is... I'm not going to relitigate this. We've talked about it before, but it's such a chaotic mess listening to them. Like, individually, they're actually quite funny when they're on other people's shows, but on their own show, they're just like...
together.
They're just talking over each other and, like, trolling each other during the podcast when somebody's trying to, like, tell a story or joke.
It's only funny to me when Nick Mullen, who is the goon leader, makes fun of the other two morons. Like the dark part of me just enjoys that part of it, but I can't. It's not like I listen to it. I've listened to like maybe 10 episodes, and that's the only element I've enjoyed.
Anyway, we should probably get started since
let's move on.
Moving past the Cum Town discourse.
I hope you will forgive us for introducing this into your life.
Oh, I wasn't planning to listen to it. Don't worry.
Okay, just the knowledge itself, the forbidden knowledge of Cum Town.
I used to frequent like 4chan and stuff. It's fine.
Oof. Okay, well, it can't be any worse than that.
It is not worse than 4chan. That is the highest praise we can give Cum Town.
The bar has never been lower.
All right, so All right, thanks for listening, everybody. That's been a great episode of the Telltale Review.
What a great episode! Glad to be back.
On this episode of the Cumtown Review,
God.
Stavros gets his dick stuck in a pumpkin. Uh-oh.
God, Jesus, what?
Okay, we're moving on now for real.
Moving on.
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Video Games, the hardly worst thing on Earth. I am your host, Alton. With me, as always, is Reese.
Hello, this is me, Reese.
And we now have returning guest, Dawnya. Hey, Dawnya.
Hello again.
The most popular guest that we have ever had, judging by our listener numbers and wild fan mails, fan tweets, etc. So thank you for returning.
About that. Thank you for having me again.
We're proud to announce that Dawnya is replacing both of us as the host.
just where Dawnya just gives an hour monologue about whatever is currently on their mind.
Instead of curating tweets, I just talk about them for an hour every week. I didn't think I would inherit this responsibility, but I guess I'll go forward with it.
Yeah, we've gone to the podcasting Grey Havens. We've carried the ring of podcasting for far too long.
So am I like Sam when he's on the dock and... Is his name Sam? Is that the character?
Yeah, Samwise Gamgee. Mr. Frodo! I can't carry their podcast burden, but I can carry you and it!
I can't do it.
This is such a stupid bit.
Moving onward.
Okay, so the premise of this podcast is that we are the last gaming warriors using our good gaming memes against the evil gaming memes, which are the weapons of the vile and just necrotic alt-right gamers.
We are the last bastion of truth, the only video game podcast to tell you the truth. All them other ones lie. Waypoint Radio, liars. Giant Bombcast, liars.
Categorically condemn them.
Yeah, we categorically condemn them.
Jeff Gerstmann, fight us in the street. We challenge you for your crown. The gamer crown.
So
terrible thing to win.
That is the worst crown. We'll talk about the best crown a little later. But this episode, mostly, we kind of wanted to talk about just the gruesome, horrific activity of being a game dev. And not that in and of itself, being creative is wonderful, etc., but the way that game devs are treated certainly by gamers, but by the companies themselves, is particularly abusive. And the big news in kind of gaming recently has been the Telltale layoffs, which I don't know, how have you guys played many Telltale games?
I actually personally have never played one before because I'm a fake gamer person. But it definitely took me by surprise when I heard that they had shut down.
I've only played their less popular ones. Like, I played through all of Strong Bad's cool game for attractive people, which was alright.
They did a Homestar Runner game?
Yeah. Like in 2008.
Before they did The Walking Dead, they actually have a ton of games. Before that, they have like a Back to the Future game, a ton of Sam & Max games.
Oh, I played some of the Sam & Max as well, and that's really good. I like the Sam & Max games more than even the Strong Bad one.
I've been a big Telltale stan for a long time. I haven't played all of them because there's especially early on.
As we'll get into, they have a fucking ton of them, and the reason why they do is because they crank them out like clockwork, basically.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, they kind of treat their employees like little machines, little factories.
Well, the famous Telltale structure is to have a game that's released in episodes.
Mm.
So they've had as few as 3, as many as 7 or 8 in some of their games. I've played almost all of them, and they're always a little bit behind. They're struggling. It seems like they're struggling to meet the dates, and as we kind of learn from the article we're going to check out here in a second, part of the reason behind that is rather than in some companies where you have a big project and then it culminates and there's the big crunch at the end or throughout it, and then at the very least when the game is released there's relief. In Telltale it just never ends. It's just the episodes are always coming. There's 2 or 3 games happening at once. And I don't know. I'll get into the article in just a second, but I love Telltale games, and it's a real bummer. And I kind of knew about the treatment of game devs there before that, but it's hardly unique. So I let it wash off my back. Okay, so from Polygon, from Charlie Hall, the article's entitled "Disappointment Turns to Anger After Telltale Layoffs." The game industry is still reeling from the layoffs at Telltale Games late last week. While fans are bemoaning the potential loss of their favorite characters and the stories left untold, others are focusing on the human cost and demanding answers. Speaking with anonymous sources inside Telltale, our sister site The Verge paints a harrowing picture. On September 21st, approximately 250 employees were let go all at once, The Verge has reported. Sources say they were given roughly 30 minutes to leave the building.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
There was no offer of severance. They were simply terminated.
They pulled a parachute cord, all their chairs just rocketed through the ceiling, and they were let down on ejection pods.
I have a lot of empathy for being told you got to get the fuck out all of a sudden of your home of many years. It's a stark contrast to the smaller batch of layoffs that occurred at the studio in November of last year, when employees were paid out the remainder of their salaries for the year and invited to a planned job fair. Late Monday night came a spark of hope for fans. In a statement on Twitter, Telltale announced that it was courting multiple partners, scabs, to help produce the final 2 episodes of its longest-running series, The Walking Dead. It would bring to a close the story of Clementine, a character that fans have guided through a dangerous world since 2012. But Telltale's late-night statement on Twitter was brief, to say the least. Multiple partners have stepped forward to express interest in helping see The Walking Dead, the final season, through to completion. It said nothing about the 250 employees who were let go, nor did it indicate who would actually do the work to finish Clem's tale. While many fans rushed to praise the effort and wish the remaining skeleton crew of 25 left at the studio well, others weren't having any of it. Many on social media and in the comment section of articles, like those here at Polygon, tried to remind those same fans of the 250 lives that were impacted by the layoffs. Cory Barlog, known for his work on the God of War series, was among them. "I would hope this means that you would first pay your entire team their severance," he said on Twitter, "and then proceed to finish the final episode. I would be fine waiting however long it would take to ensure that we first treated those who work so hard with the humanity and respect they deserve." Job Staffer, I think that's how you pronounce his name, formerly a member of the team at
Staffer?
Job staffer.
He works in HR. Job staffer.
Kind of a coincidence of a name.
Job J. Stauffer, as I think the correct Stauffer. Formerly a member of the team at Telltale, joined in as well. "Our friends and family's health and well-being comes first," Stauffer wrote on Twitter. "Developers need to be paid, not abused. Telltale CEO Pete Hawley gambled, and the team lost."
Emily Grace Buck, who was among those let go last week, has been especially vocal. "We aren't replaceable," said the narrative designer who worked on Telltale's Batman in a lengthy thread on Twitter. "None of the former Telltale employees are or have been replaceable. They're quality, and they all deserve so much better." Polygon has reached out to Telltale for details on what, if any, compensation will be offered to the 250 employees let go last week. We also asked if they will be considered for any opportunities that may arise to complete their work on The Walking Dead. The video game industry is notorious for wild cycles of boom and bust. Stories of long hours, one-sided contracts, and impetuous managerial decisions are commonplace. Recently, workers in the industry have expressed a desire to organize a union, but no concrete plans have emerged. It is unclear if such an organization would have even helped in the case of the employees at Telltale. What it is certain, however, is that those laid off will carry this experience with them for the rest of their lives. It will necessarily color the opinions of their own worth as workers and how much of themselves they owe to their future employers. It will force them and their families to evaluate the risks involved in even contemplating a return to the game industry. That makes Telltale's struggles relevant to the entire industry and those who love it. So that's a really good point, I think. The fact that this is probably going to make a lot of people seriously consider leaving the industry. And honestly, I can't see, outside of like the sheer passion that people have for working in the games industry and creating something that they love, anywhere else in the software industry, these kind of practices would be unacceptable. Mm-hmm. But in the gaming industry, because they have everyone by their emotional tenterhooks, they're just willing to go along with it.
Exactly. With the skills that you would have to be a high-level game dev, like a AAA company like Telltale, a lot of those same skills would most likely, at the same level, you would be having a job, I imagine, that would be paying, I don't think it's hyperbole to say, probably twice as much with much better hours, much better benefits, much better job security. It's insane how the people who make the games that we love are treated, and it's exploitation. And I think, to me, this gets to the core of the whole issue, is that it's an exploitation of passion, the cultivated identity, and how those who in power and the capitalists are trying to extract value through this identity. I don't think it's that's so crazy to imagine that the same identity of gaming and loving games is being exploited by the CEOs at the top, who are the ultimate fake gamers.
Truly, they are. The way I see it is that game development, pretty much as an entire whole, is a creative career. And people in creative careers, generally, they're taken advantage of in this way, because it's a little bit different than, well, it isn't. It shouldn't be treated any differently than any other career or talent or anything like that. But it is often because there is this idea that, how do I put it? It isn't as necessary. Like, it's you are writing on your passion.
Very salient point that it's other creative processes go through the same kind of exploitation of passion. The For Exposure Twitter account is one of my favorites, because you see how illustrators, I think especially, the amount of talent it takes to become an illustrator. You know, you see people love these drawings and they connect so much more with them than.
Well, it isn't just talent; it's work. For anyone that doesn't know, that I'm speaking as someone that is an illustrator, and it's a lot of work, but it also doesn't have the same job security as like someone that has a different kind of skill, like something like science or math based. Artists and really any type of creator is almost seen as disposable, because we don't do the things that people feel causes our society to go forward. We're almost like a decorative sort of thing to other people, and that's wrong. Honestly, people would be surprised just how many different industries and how many different things in their life are affected by artists and designers and creatives, especially video games for that matter. But it is easy to kind of take advantage of it, because you're like, well, I got this position and I really have to bust my tail, because if I lose it, then it's, it's a much different type of industry to thrive in. Which isn't to say you can't. Obviously, there are tons of, artists that are very successful. But for me, for example, I've never had professional work, and there's a lot of different variables that go into it and how successful you're going to be. So I think it is really easy to prey upon that, to prey on that passion, and to prey on that area of talent. And I don't know if this is really relevant to what we're talking about. I am so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. I think that you are 100% right. And one of the points that I wanted to make earlier but forgot to, I guess, was that how this ties into just the broader issue of basically the hellish nature of the arts under capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a concept, it's something that's not particularly valued in a capitalist society in the same way it is in other places. And it's such a common desire for people to want to make their creative leanings their the foundation of their livelihood. And we don't really I'm going to get full Joker mode here. We don't really live in a society where that makes that easy or even possible for most people, because it's difficult to commoditize art, basically.
Yeah.
And unless you have the mechanisms in place to make it a mass distributable product like you see in film and video games and other places, then it's not something that you can really turn into an easily packaged product. Because, it's very unique. Like, some people are going to like some art, some people are not going to like it at all.
It is very subjective.
And so, really, only recently have I think the rise of stuff like Patreon and other methods of public funding has this made it feasible for so many more artists to make a living.
It has. Patreon's really helped. And I guess where, my heart really goes out to a lot of the people that were laid off, steering back around to the actual topic at hand. Because like I said, it can be incredibly difficult to find actual professional work. And it's hard enough to find actual professional work that is, Telltale didn't even really do a good job of this, but that will actually respect you as a, a person, as a part of the team, that won't take advantage of you and your talents and your skills, because that's what they are. Art, being able to be good at art is a skill. And
then not toss you to the curb when they're done with
exactly. You. So it's like we already spend so much time trying to find, a place that will even pay us. You mentioned for exposure on Twitter, and there are so many people, and this isn't just random people on Twitter, but if you are kind of really in any even remotely creative sphere of talent or skill, I keep saying talent and it's bothering me, but we're not going to go into that. If you're in any circle like that, skill-wise, people are absolutely going to try to get as much free work as they can out of you, because they feel that that's okay. Like, it's, it's this, it's easy. Like, what do you mean you can't just draw me this picture for free? Like, how long can it take? And there's, and I feel so bad for these people that got let off, because it's like, I can't imagine what it's like to now be out of the job and think, oh, I have to try to find another one that's actually going to take me in and will pay me and hopefully won't do this to me again. So it's just really sad.
Sorry to talk over you.
No, I did it earlier to you, so honestly, you can just tell me to shut up whenever you want.
I think we should all just talk over each other at once. Let's start now.
I
like this idea. Yeah, I think we should talk about this more often.
But
we are now come down.
What you were saying before, Dawnya, though, of kind of wanting to back off the word talent and into the word skill, I actually, even though I said talent, I think you're 100% correct. Because I think that there are a lot of talented people, but the actual application of that talent, what you learn, the techniques you learn, it is 100% a skill. I'm somebody with a film background. I went to film school. I worked on a lot of film sets.
Ooh.
And you can watch a lot of movies and kind of have this understanding of movies, but there's a real disconnect between the experience of art and the breaking down of what makes those work and how to apply that, how to work as a team in film's perspective is such a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where 50 talented people can work together, but because there's a communication breakdown, it doesn't work. You need social skills. There's so much that goes into it, and then you just you talk to people and they think that this putting together they don't understand, while they're tossed together YouTube tribute or whatever doesn't. Nobody's interested in seeing it, and it's because you have to put the time in to understand that. You have to watch a lot of movies. You have to.
Man, I don't appreciate this subtweet of me, of my YouTube channel.
I think your YouTube channel is funny. I think you too.
You're biased. If you're gonna in fish, like half the videos.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Hey,
it's funny because I brought.
You got to disclose that, man.
Collusion.
Yeah, this is collusion.
I'm colluding with the person I record with every week for somehow.
It's about the ethics in YouTube video game editing videos.
The final point I want to make before we slide off this is that I think that skill, those things that you learn, are very much at odds in art. I think in a way that might be unique. I couldn't say 100%, because the part of making good art, in my opinion, is being able to kind of trigger that kind of suspension of disbelief and carrying you on into the experience of whatever piece that you're listening
exactly. Good.
Which
sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say that.
No, continue.
I was going to say that it's like good graphical effects. If they're really good, you don't notice them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So good art is made to seem effortless. All the blood, sweat, and tears is purposefully concealed to enhance the audience's enjoyment of whatever they're watching or looking at.
Basically, you just got to know how it all ticks, is basically what it boils down to. You got to understand your concepts and, how things work together and how other people are going to perceive them, so on and so forth.
So, as we've discussed at length, obviously, video game developers, like many other skilled artists, are not necessarily treated with the kind of respect and job security that their prestigious talents might merit. But one profession that is getting paid and has tons of job security? Being a goddamn lawyer. And this moves into our next story. Telltale hit with class action lawsuit for breaking labor laws. Hooray! Yay! Air horn.
Burr, 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 burr.
Brr, 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 brr. Former employee says layoffs violated federal law and state WARN laws. And they did. We don't have to get into all this article. There's a bunch of details that are basically the same as what we just read. But one of the employees has started a class action lawsuit against Telltale for, violating the WARN Act, which is essentially that... let me see if I can find a description. Okay. If a business with at least 100 full-time employees must notify employees 60 days in advance of any plant closing or mass layoffs. So, this was a mass layoff. It says mass layoff is a reduction of 50 or more employees within a 30-day period. And so I'm pretty sure firing 250 people at once counts as a mass layoff. So in their haste to, I'm pretty sure, keep their CEOs well paid, because none of those fuckers lost their job. they've violated federal law. And I wish nothing but the best to Roberts and the rest of the employees who've joined him in this class action lawsuit, because pay your goddamn employees severance.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ.
Anything. Or just try. Like, come on. You can't. I will never understand how any company head would ever think I should kick out 250 people out of their jobs permanently and tell them they have to leave the building in less than an hour, but I'm not going to give them anything to get them by. The gall of it, absolutely. I can't fathom being that terrible and evil of a person that would think, I'm not a single thing, not any sort of severance. It's maddening. It's disgusting. I hope that they lose everything, honestly, and it all goes back to these people that are taking them to court, because the workers are the ones that deserve that money.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Oh, hey! Motorcycles, yeah! Maybe a train will come by my house, and that'll make it even better.
What if just vehicles just start revving at all of our microphones at once?
It's
great.
We're
just like, we're at a motocross rally.
An ASMR delight.
The lowest thing about this Telltale thing is that they had literally just hired people from like other parts of the country to move to the most expensive area in the country to work there, and then just immediately toss them out into a city where they don't know anybody.
And it's like, okay, I don't work for Telltale. I don't know anyone that works for Telltale, especially not in the higher up positions. I wish I did, but I don't. But especially if they were doing it that close to this shutdown, there had to have been writing on the wall, especially since, as far as I've heard, since this has come up, there have been problems with this company for quite some time. So yeah, it's just, I don't even know. Like, it's just kind of stupid, because you're just adding more people to the pot that are bound to retaliate against you.
Right.
But it's like, why? Why would you add more people to this mix?
Basically, from what I remember, my shaky memory of listening to the Waypoint discussion on this particular topic, a deal fell through with like a major IP holder who was going to have them make one of their games. I can't remember what particular company it was. It was some big film company. It was Blue's Clues.
That's right. Blue's Clues.
Blue's Clues. The Blue's Clues deal fell through, and they were on a hiring upswing in the lead up to that, because they were gearing up for, new projects. And then when this major deal fell through, they basically just got caught with their pants down, because they basically didn't have enough money to keep operating the way that they were without this major deal, which is just goes to show just how fucked up the way they manage their business must be if they have to.
Yeah, that's literally just putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Don't know if I've ever mentioned this to you two, but I actually work in a real estate office, and I can tell you right now that you don't do that until the contract goes through. That's just a bad idea. Like, deals fall through. It's bound to happen. So it's like, oh God, just that makes me even more angry, because it's like, what kind of idiot does something like that? Telltale Games, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. I think that they've been skirting by doing exactly this kind of shit for like the last decade, basically, where they're just sort of running right to the bleeding edge of what they can afford, and then basically getting saved by a windfall from some big intellectual property like Minecraft, Borderlands,
Walking
Dead, yeah. And I really feel as though, I'm not quite sure what the situation of their financials are, but it just doesn't make sense that a company as like successful as Telltale hadn't built up like a windfall or something, like
that's
some
what
reservoir.
I thought as soon as I heard this, because like I said, I never played a Telltale game, but I'm familiar with their more popular titles,
Right.
The Walking Dead specifically, and it's like, I didn't know like, obviously, the money just has to be hemorrhaging out somewhere.
It seems like they just overspent absurdly on the licenses. And I think that it's, at a certain point, it just feels like madness, because you read in that so many of their licensed properties, other than The Walking Dead Season 1 and Minecraft, apparently all had from varying degrees of trouble. And you look at what they're known for and what they're beloved for. It's the character of Clementine and Lee from The Walking Dead. Nobody is like, oh, that was a sweet Walking Dead story that is, and I loved it because it was Walking Dead. They loved those characters. And it just seems to me, if they had just trusted their artists and seen the success with The Walking Dead and built up their own original characters, that they wouldn't have to just constantly spend.
They did The Wolf Among Us, didn't they?
That's not an original IP.
Oh, it isn't?
No, that's a comic book.
I'm a fucking idiot. Just gonna tap dance out of here. Cut this, please.
Okay.
Edit this out. I'm not an idiot.
I'll go ahead and edit out. It's not a big deal. I mean,
no, you won't. No, you won't. You lie.
I mean, if you actually want me to cut it out, I'll cut it out. But
I don't actually care.
Okay.
The other point I'd like to make is just to bring this around to why it's so important to have like a union in place, like to prevent this is so much better for these people's lives than the law, because the law is about being punitive. And like in a year and a half, maybe these people will be made whole. And what does that mean? They'll get their wages and benefit, like whatever the government decides is the monetary value that can be demonstrated. And so Telltale will get punished if they have the money. Like, it's great to cheer on this class action lawsuit, but you know, it's not gonna be restorative. It's gonna punish Telltale, and I don't think that's a good dichotomy at all in general. You know, it needs to be not a lesson of, oh, you broke the law, you need to learn how to do layoffs correctly. You need to learn how to do contracts correctly, although they certainly sounds like some of those lessons should boil in there. It needs to be like, we in general need to not trust these companies, and there needs to be other methods, forms of power in place so we can protect the people, because that's who are being exploited.
Like collective bargaining. Hey, bub, union says you gotta pay a severance, or we're gonna sever something of yours. You got me? I don't know.
My gaming company I got here. Seamus.
I'm the gaming union thug.
I guess so. No, that's actually a really good point. And the article actually did mention, because I don't know how unions work. I'm not a part of a union, unfortunately. The company I work for just isn't big enough. Mm-hmm. But oh, hey, motorcycle around my house now. Damn it. Union. Even if it doesn't help with something like a company just shutting down entirely, at the very least, a union and, better guidelines for how to treat workers, it can at least protect these people from literally working their lives away for a company that is literally not going to treat them right.
Exactly.
The whole idea of like crunch culture and things like that is just prevalent in all gaming companies pretty much. But at the very least, if these unions are set up, it can help protect them from things like that. So even if the worst of the worst comes, at least they have their health still, and that's at least some kind of thing to go off of. And other things, like I said, I don't really know how the intricate details of unions and what it protects you from, but I do know that they do work to have companies not treat their workers like...
Listen, bub, union says everyone gets a pony. Look, I don't make the rules. You gotta give us all a pony. You understand me?
Pretty pony.
Or I'll turn you into a tub of glue.
God.
I I'm still.
Sad.
That's our Amazon ain't a union video right there.
Oh, God.
The union thugs make Dawnya sad, so we need
The
to.
horse is getting turned into glue makes me
Oh
sad.
no, the horses aren't getting turned to glue.
People,
The
all
people
of it.
the CEOs are getting turned to glue.
Yeah, no, but it reminded me that horses get turned into glue, and that made me sad.
I don't think horses get turned to glue anymore. I don't think they use bone bits for glue.
That's what they want you to think. Horses do parts of horses do get turned into gelatin. So have fun
Delicious.
eating your Jello.
This episode sponsored by Jello brand Jello. Tastes like horse.
I'm
Holy
so
shit.
delighted about the idea of like Tony Soprano visiting John Carmack,
Breaking his legs.
Oh, this is a nice first-person shooter about demons invading Mars. I'd hate something to happen to it. Polly Walnuts is going to be a no-show as a level designer. I don't know. There's a good bit here about the Sopranos
Being a game,
muscling.
Somewhere buried in here, there is a delightful gem of comedy. But unfortunately, we should move forward.
Yeah. You come to me on the day of my game's release. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we should move on to our next topic, but before we do, I've been sitting on this for like ever, and I wanted to just read out this attorney's name. Game Daily spoke with attorney Richard Hogue.
How?
Hogue.
How's that spelled?
Hoeg. Richard Hogue.
And Job Stauffer.
Job Stauffer and Richard Hogue.
That's unfortunate. Hogue.
Man, I just want to say Richard Hogue.
Hog.
Richard Hogue. Telltale may be able to cite the Warnack's business circumstance exception. I'm not reading all this. Fuck it. I just thought his name was funny. His name funny.
Yeah, it's a funny name.
Let's do the Salt and then Lady Bowser. I think it is agreed upon that it is terrible to work in the industry, and we can link that article as more reading.
Oh, Silver. I recognize that name.
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
Oh, this.
Can I read it? Can I please read it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh boy. In regards to The Walking Dead, the final season, general discussions, topic details on Steam.com. Teams should work for free. Yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but that is exactly what modders have been doing for years. This is how many great standalone full feature free games were created, like all the mods for Total War, such as Third Age, Call of Warhammer, etc. If the Walking Dead cast, crew, actors, and developers really cared about this franchise, like they claim on Twitter, etc., then they would return to the studio, finish the remaining 2 episodes, and then call it a day. If modders can do that, why can't regular professionals? This is what I meant when I was talking about artists like being taken for granted. Any creative is going to be taken for granted like this by people all the time, every day. It's bad. If you ever, anyone listening to this, all of you, I'm here. I'm right in your ear.
Oh my God.
If you ever think something like this, stop and don't, because that's not how this works. We do have lives, and we also eat, and no, we're not gonna just like make full episodes of games for free. Like, no, that's not how it works.
Why won't the treat makers make my treats? Why?
Breaking news, artists eat.
I know, it's shocking that we don't just like I don't know, inhale pencil dust.
Mhm.
I wish that's how I could live. That would give me a lot of free budget.
I do not wish to live off pencil dust, even if I could.
They all photosynthesize from the glow from their Waco tablets.
I only have one tiny LED in mine. That wouldn't work. Photosynthesize. But no, it's like this is so common, and I do want to say that this is actually one of the very few really terrible takes like this that I've seen personally. If you guys have more, feel free to send them to me at Gamer Takes. But it's still a thing that happens, and I think that people would be surprised just how common it is, just in more quote unquote acceptable limitations. But fuck this guy.
Can I read the next couple ones? Because
Yes.
they're so incredible. Do you want to read one of these, Reese?
Let me read the little follow up.
All right, go ahead, Reese.
So this is more from Silver. Post down. It is not even possible to finish 2 90-minute episodes of The Walking Dead in your spare time. I don't believe it. Especially since you no longer have to follow any deadline or release schedule.
Oh my
They
fucking
take
god.
their time and get it done at their own pace.
Oh my god. This person does not understand intellectual property rights at all.
Obviously
Like,
not.
why can't they just finish it despite the fact that they're not employed by the company working on it at all, or being paid, or, have any rights to do what they're doing? Anyway, it's dumb.
But modders.
Yeah, but modders. Yeah, but the thing is, modders don't make any money off of what they do.
Even Silver, this was roasted all over the internet, and a little bit got through. Let's read the edit.
Oh my god. Edit. Thanks for all the lovely and supportive comments, guys, and the exposure on Reddit and Twitter. As someone who's followed Clem from the first episode, my post was a knee-jerk reaction out of desperation upon hearing the sad news. You know, the 5 stages of denial where you try to bargain and come up with stupid ideas. That one. You have to put yourself in the shoes of a gamer. Sorry, I just imagine putting my feet in those shoes and just... Sorry. Some of us are ignorant about developers' personal lives. No, not just about that. Because we never met them, unlike the fictional characters on screen who we have bonded with over the years. Hence our initial reaction was to worry more about the fate of the wrong party. It was a stupid post and got more spotlight than it deserved. And I apologize for that. The only people I am genuinely angry at right now are the fat cats who ran this company in the ground. Oh, fuck, he's saying something I'm agreeing with now. Fuck. And then pulled the plug without even giving their own employees time to prepare. Anyways, I'll keep this thread up because deleting it would erase all the people's posts below, and that would be a wrong thing to do. Have a nice day.
And it's legitimately like, oh man, we got some. Maybe we can get through to people, Maybe the world can change. And then somebody posted a picture of his avatar, which is Donald Duck dressed as a Nazi, smoking a cigarette.
Drawn by Shadman, the
noted pedophile.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Fuck. I forgot we weren't supposed to mention his name.
I mean, we've already opened the lament configuration.
Yeah, none of you ever told me I wasn't allowed to say his name, so
I was just like, I don't want people.
Fuck Shad, man, and fuck his fans.
Don't Google Shad, man. Do not just trust it's a bad person that drew a Nazi duck. And that's the person.
Honestly,
that is by far
the least bad thing he's drawn.
Yeah, that is not.
Shadman is an awful person. He's a pedophile. Generally, just an awful fucking excuse of a human being.
Okay, I'm gonna pull the moving on a lever now. It's
I'll keep going.
I know, I know. It's not that you're wrong.
But I do want to say, if, which is not the case because he does have that icon, but if he didn't have the Shaman icon, I would have taken back my fuck this guy because that was actually not a terrible edit to that post. So I'm glad that someone kind of got through to him, but he's also a fan of Shadman. So again, fuck that guy.
I mean, there's always the possibility he doesn't know who made the avatar, but the fact that he has a Nazi
Donald
duck,
Duck is a Nazi.
yeah, kind of makes the artist irrelevant to a point. But that just is like the cherry on top of the shit sundae.
God, just awful.
But I don't know. Like, even though he seems to understand that this is an issue with the business practices in the industry, I think that the fact that this person is still clinging to this idea of a gamer identity, where he's like, put yourself in the shoes of gamers, is just
I felt really
like,
bad because I don't know what's going to happen to this fictional character that isn't real and doesn't exist, and I didn't for 1 second.
I can't empathize with real humans. Are you kidding? I'm a gamer.
Yeah, it shouldn't take people on the internet yelling at you for you to be like, oh, wait a second. Maybe this wasn't the party I should have sympathized with.
Yeah.
But that's neither here nor there, I guess.
And he only changed it after people yelled at him, so...
Exactly.
I think that this just makes me think of that edit of the Skyrim meme where it's just like, oh, fuck, what was it?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. But because I hate women and minorities.
Yeah.
Always true, which I'm guessing you guys are going to talk about in your next episode.
Well, I mean, that's a nice transition to our final piece of salt here. We got a little classic gamer response as well.
Oh, but I want to read this.
Boy.
I want to read the meme.
Oh, read the meme.
Read the meme.
I am a gamer. Not because I don't have a life, but because I hate women and minorities.
It's sad because they keep doing it and they prove it's right.
And I think that this is an interesting perspective on why that is, in that it seems like they're thinking about the product more than people. And I think that that's a symptom of being way too steeped into a consumer culture, that you're just conditioned to think only about the product or what you're consuming and not try to stop to think about like the impact that certain things have on people, and that if it's not everything's catered to you, then you throw a big gamer fit and fill your gamer dipes when they add women to the Roman game.
The Roman game, 15%.
Anyway, I think Reese is right. Let's move on to our next salt nug.
So, it's not the worst take to think that I care more about the game than the people. That is a very bad take. Certainly there's no worse icon. But we've had a worse take in response to that, which is a series of tweets from, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Jennifer Sherrill. I apologize, Jennifer. But she posted a series of tweets that she received. How does it feel to single-handedly destroy a company? That's a feat, man. What is he referring to? Let's the next tweet elucidate specifically with the problem. A tweet for you signal boosting for women to apply 18 months ago is why the studio shut down.
What?
Oh, wait a minute. What?
At Gaumi, women make terrible video games. I mean, yeah, because they're people. They're not video games. I don't think gamers understand women. Telltale will be an amazing financial lesson for game companies in the future when they can have women fully removed from game development. We thank you for your service to our cause.
Holy shit, I didn't see this.
So, you're welcome for some content for shitty gamer takes.
You might have to give context, because apparently this person was calling for people to join the game, calling for women specifically to join the game industry, I think.
Yeah, she put out a tweet about it, and there was, I guess, a diversity initiative, and the response to that is like,
"You killed my treat company! How dare you!"
It wasn't because you gave away your entire payroll to Marvel to make a mediocre Guardians of the Galaxy game. I
made a Guardians of the Galaxy game?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean, I'm sure I don't want to speak ill of the artists. Like I think they did the best that they could, but I don't think it was a good fit.
I like it when the raccoon does a swear.
He does a swear.
You be nice to Rocket Raccoon.
I like Rocket Raccoon. I was being sincere. Couldn't you tell?
Alton is as a resident furry, probably likes Rocket Raccoon the most, I would imagine.
In a romantic way.
Oh, okay. Well, that went a direction.
That's not where I was going, but I'm glad we went there.
All right. But anyway, wow, this is terrible. Legitimately, honestly, the word.
Well, it's like we say, we should have said gamers are the worst thing on earth. But
that's the name of the thing.
Yeah, it is the name of the thing.
But no, seriously, this is awful. This person does know that women have been in gaming development for a while now, right? I can't. Every time this happens, because this isn't the first time that I've seen people insinuate that women can't make the beep boop funtime games as good as men people. I don't understand. I can't. I don't get it. I don't even have a witty retort or something funny to say or even anything to back it up because it's just so stupid. It's so legitimately stupid to insinuate that. And I can't imagine what it must be like to live your life in such a state of complete fucking idiocy. I can't.
Listen, video game making is stored in the balls.
Amazing. Well, then what about...
God.
I don't know. At this point, I'm just sort of gone into a manic mode where I'm just laughing at all this because it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
It is. My God.
You know what? Other than the icon, this is legitimately worse than the duck one in so many ways because that person's just kind of entitled and eventually recognize their shitty behavior. These people are just women destroyed the video game. It's fucking antimatter to them.
I think it would be amazing. Not that I think we should actually do this, but it'd be extremely funny that every time a game failed, when Lawbreakers failed, or it's looks like Cliffy B couldn't do it. Thanks for showing us men can't make video games. We thank you for our service, and just tweet that, and just every time a video game fails,
get bro, go broke.
Honestly, I'm behind it.
Jesus Christ!
I think we found our episode title.
Yep, there we go. Excellent. Good job, team.
Oh boy. Oh my God. My senses have just been completely overloaded by this.
That's pretty much what happened to me as soon as I read that. Sorry, just burped a little bit.
That's fine.
Alton belches in my ear to inaugurate every interaction with them, so.
Not that much of an exaggeration, to be honest.
Anyway, how far removed do you have to be to actually get this angry at a woman about a company that made poor management? I'm not even going to dwell on this. Do we have another topic? Where's the next topic?
Yeah, we do have another topic. Let's end on a high note.
Indeed.
We can't, as much as we would like to, we can't talk forever on this episode. But I did want to make note of the cultural moment known as Bowsette.
Who will forever be enshrined in her glory for the rest of the foreseeable future.
And in other words, this is the glorious moment when people discovered that they could make every single character in the Mario universe sexy.
Well, but before we get ahead of ourselves, does somebody want to explain what Bowsette is, in case there's listeners out there who might not be as online as we are, but somehow still listen to this podcast?
Ha! Okay, so I don't even remember what game it was announced for, but there's a new Mario game coming out, whatever. I don't even really like Mario, but that's neither here nor there. But there's this item, and it's a crown, and if you're a character named Toadette and you touch the crown, you turn into Toadette, but she's like Peach.
It's new Super Mario Bros. U for the Nintendo Switch has a character called Toadette, which has an item that turns her into a Peach lookalike.
It's pretty great. But then someone on the internet, AYYK92.
Thank you for your service.
Haniwa is their artist title. But anyway, they drew this comic that was like, oh man, this Super Crown is some spicy ass lore for the Super Mario universe, which it is. Basically, the comic is of Peach rejecting both Mario and Bowser. And then Bowser, by his own choice, his own fruition, decides to put on the Super Crown and therefore becomes Bowsette, who is basically a goth spiky Peach. And it's great.
It's pretty great.
I'm gay. So, you know my ass drew her. But yeah, so the whole internet was like, oh shit, time to get really horny on Maine. Now here we are. And I do want to say, so I drew Bowsette, and I like Bowsette. I like the concept. I also like that it is, for anybody new to the concept, this would be what we would consider a quote-unquote gender bend, where you take a character that is usually perceived as male and in some way or another turn them female. There are a lot of people that don't like most gender bends because the way that it is portrayed is very negative. Like generally, good example that's related to video games. King of Fighters. They have a new game, but they have a character and he is a male character, but they released a extra character that is basically that character, but with big old fat tibbies. And in all of this art, the character is seen as very uncomfortable, is not happy with this change, very hesitant to be out and about like this. And so that's kind of why a lot of people are sort of taking Bowsette as different, because it was by Bowser's own decision to do this. And also Bowsette looks happy with the choice, even though I guess you can say it's out of spite. But a lot of people are like super cool with it.
Just it's a positive representation of gender swap.
Yeah, it's one that more people are a bit more open to because of that kind of more positive spin on it, which is nice.
It's funny to prescribe importance to it, but at the same time, like I did kind of love it. It's, you know, I just saw the little ripple of this in the morning, and then by the evening, I like every character in every video game ever had was just like a hot Peach version of it that was having a great time. And that's hilarious. And it's just like everybody just being like, it just felt like everyone on the internet was like, what if we could fuck anyone? Anything. And they it's like, I don't know, just the crown
I know
awesome.
Where I was going.
Where were you going?
Reese, I'm sorry. I was saying that oh, go ahead.
Finish your thought, Reese. As I was saying.
No, I thought he was saying for me to finish, and I was saying for him to finish. Sorry, you finished first.
I'm just gonna talk over Reese now.
I'm sorry.
Just to finish my thought about just that this is what I think the best aspect of fandom is so many times the worst aspects are people being extremely rigid and extremely gatekeepy, and that sucks. And I really love that this is kind of like just people taking these big cultural signifiers and just changing it around till it matters to them. And I think that's great. I think a great example of somebody doing something like this is that terrible Detroit game that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody played that game or liked the game itself, but there was something about it that brought up this like fandom that didn't even like the characters of the game itself, but they took it and they took the kind of like meme interactions and they just had fun with it and made something that they actually liked. And it was actually something much better.
Actually, I think the best example I can think of people taking something, you know, this original concept and then really changing it and making it into something of their own to better suit their interests is when they dress a Donald Duck in an SS uniform.
No! Hey. Oh, no, not good. Not good at all.
So what was your point?
Oh, so I was actually saying that I'm kind of half and half with the whole Bowsette thing, because as much as I am gay, and Bowsette is purdy, so many people are going so ham with the horniness, guys. I am just so much Bowsette porn on my dash. Honestly, this is more of a Twitter issue because they still just won't stop making me see my friends' likes.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't want to know what they jack off to. I don't need to know.
Somebody called me out for liking this incredibly silly picture of some lady in their underwear with a Bowser mask on.
Oh boy. Anyway, Bowsette pretty. Bowsette, I'm gay. Girls good. I drew Bowsette. Bye.
It was just a real moment of levity from everyone in a pretty otherwise grim time. While everyone else was glued to the Kavanaugh hearings and just witnessing that nightmare, the only kind of like levity through it was Bowsette saving us.
And save us she did.
And on that note, I think it's about time we wrap up. Thank you so much for recording with us, Dawnya. As always, it's been a blast.
Thanks for having me again. Hopefully you'll learn your lesson and never invite me back again.
We are absolutely going to invite you back again.
We will never learn anything.
And I don't know. I apologize for both of those things.
Oh man, my brain is even more broken than when we started, because now, in my head, I now believe that gamers believe that women are magically anti-video game properties. They can just make them disappear by touching them.
Bada bing, bada boom.
So, Dawnya, where can people find your good content and Bowsette pictures online?
All right. Well, if we didn't really talk about it this time, but you can find me either at Gamer Takes, which is the Gamer Takes account, Shitty Gamer Takes, or you can find me at my main account at XO_Pinkish Heart, and that is my main account as well as my art account. And I did draw Bowsette, and she's purdy. I love girls. My birthday's in 2 weeks. Come follow me. Come follow me. Well, I don't know when this episode's going to go up.
Probably in 2 weeks.
All right, my birthday is right now. Come follow me.
Commission a Bowsette picture for
yes. Come commission me, please. God, I'm gonna get overdrafted at the bank. Posting Shitty Gamer Takes doesn't pay the bills. Please, God, come help me.
So go and give Dawnya your money. And Reese, where can people find you and your great online content online?
You can find me at Your Very Good Bud on Twitter. I've given up on Mastodon. As much as I like it, it's just a place where everybody is they've just talk about being horny on Maine. It's too horny on Maine even for me. Can't keep up. So yeah.
All right, and you can find me at 8alton8 on Twitter or on youtube.com at Alton Plays, because I couldn't think of a better name. And I think that's it. So thank you everyone for coming with us on this journey of having our minds broken even more by the incredible things that gamers do and say, and we will see you in the next episode.
Thank you again, Dawnya, and thank you all for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.